Have you ever wondered what happens when a political party preparing for a major election suddenly finds itself battling a court judgment that throws its future into question? And what if that legal dispute begins raising wider questions about the judiciary, democracy, and the choices facing some of Nigeria's biggest political figures? That's exactly the conversation unfolding right now, and it has attracted reactions from lawyers, politicians, party supporters, and many Nigerians who are closely watching events ahead of the 2027 general election. The issues go beyond one political party. They touch on how court decisions can influence the political landscape, how political parties respond under pressure, and what role the judiciary should play in protecting public confidence in the democratic process. While different sides have presented different interpretations of what has happened, one thing is certain: this story has become one of the most talked about political developments in recent days. Before we continue, if you enjoy balanced political updates explained in simple language, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our future reports. Also, share this video with others and let us know your opinion in the comments, because respectful discussions help everyone understand these important national issues from different perspectives. Now, let's look at what actually happened. The controversy centers around the Nigeria Democratic Congress, commonly known as the NDC, a political party that has been preparing to participate in the 2027 general elections. Reports indicate that a recent judgment by the Federal High Court in Lokoja set aside an earlier court decision that had directed the Independent National Electoral Commission, or INEC, to register the party. According to the court, the earlier judgment affected the interest of another political platform that had not been included in the original proceedings, making it necessary to revisit the matter. As expected, that ruling immediately generated widespread reactions. Some people interpreted the judgment as a serious setback for the NDC, while others argued that it was simply part of the normal legal process and that the matter would ultimately be resolved by higher courts. The leadership of the NDC quickly responded by insisting that the judgment did not amount to the deregistration of the party. According to the party, legal steps were already being taken to challenge the decision through the appellate courts. Party leaders maintained that they remained confident that the legal process would eventually clarify the situation. This is where another major development entered the picture. Former Bayelsa State Governor and national leader of the NDC, Senator Seriake Dickson, publicly appealed to the party's leading candidates, including Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso, not to abandon the platform because of the legal uncertainty. According to Dickson, reports suggesting that key figures might leave the party should not cause panic among supporters. He described the situation as a challenge that could be addressed through lawful legal procedures rather than a reason to give up on the party. He expressed confidence that the judicial process would eventually provide clarity and insisted that members should remain calm while the appeals continue. Dickson's message was significant because Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso remain two of the country's most recognizable political figures. Any speculation about their future political platform naturally attracts enormous public attention. Instead of encouraging confrontation, Dickson urged party members to remain united. He argued that difficult moments are part of politics and that parties often face legal and administrative challenges before elections. According to him, abandoning the platform prematurely would only weaken the collective effort that had already been built over many months. But while party leaders were asking members to stay together, another conversation was gaining momentum. Some lawyers and legal analysts began discussing what this situation could mean for public confidence in Nigeria's judiciary. According to reports and public commentary, one lawyer warned that the judiciary should be careful not to allow legal disputes involving political parties to create the impression that justice is inconsistent or influenced by factors outside the law. The argument was not necessarily about attacking judges personally. Instead, the concern was that every major court decision involving elections or political parties carries enormous public consequences. When such rulings generate confusion, uncertainty, or conflicting public interpretations, many citizens begin asking difficult questions about the legal process itself. Legal experts often emphasize that courts must not only deliver justice, but must also maintain public confidence that justice is being administered fairly and transparently. That principle has become part of the wider conversation surrounding the NDC case. Interestingly, Senator Dickson himself also adopted a relatively measured tone while criticizing the ruling. Although he strongly disagreed with the judgment, he said the party's focus would remain on pursuing legal remedies through the hierarchy of courts rather than launching personal attacks against the judge. He stated that judges perform an important constitutional role and that disagreements with court decisions should normally be addressed through appeals instead of personal accusations. That position reflects an important principle within democratic systems. Court decisions can be challenged, judgments can be appealed. Different courts may even arrive at different conclusions based on the law and the evidence before them. But confidence in judicial institutions depends on allowing those legal processes to run their course. At the same time, the political implications cannot be ignored. With preparations for the 2027 elections continuing across Nigeria, every legal development involving a political party attracts close attention. Supporters naturally want certainty. Candidates want to know that their nominations and campaigns will proceed smoothly. Voters also want clarity so they can understand which parties will eventually appear on the ballot. That is why even technical legal disputes sometimes become major national political stories. Another issue that has added to the controversy involves the NDC's claims regarding access to INEC's candidate nomination portal. According to party officials, they experienced difficulties obtaining the necessary access required to upload candidate information before the legal dispute intensified. The party argued that this created additional challenges for its preparations. As of the reports available at the time, the issue had become part of the broader disagreement between the party and electoral authorities. For many Nigerians watching from the sidelines, the legal language can seem confusing. People hear phrases like setting aside a judgment, appeal, necessary parties, and registration order, but may wonder what these terms actually mean. In simple language, when a court sets aside an earlier judgment, it does not automatically settle the entire dispute forever. Instead, it changes the legal position until higher courts or subsequent proceedings determine the final outcome. That is why appeals are such an important part of Nigeria's judicial system. They provide an opportunity for higher courts to examine whether lower courts correctly interpreted the law.